Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. In this video, I think we're gonna mainly look at this steel mill and upgrade it. I think we're gonna redo some of this layout, and I mainly want to get a lot more iron and coal coming through here since it does take 2 of each resource to produce 1 steel. So we definitely need a lot more coming in than what we currently have. Because if we look here, we're running a little low on both of them, especially iron, although the throughput should be the same on each. But if we look over at our machines factory, this one is limited by steel, and if we come over to our goods factory, we can see that this one is also limited by steel as well. So if we can get much more iron and coal coming in to this steel mill, that should greatly improve our outputs at those other factories. And the first thing we're gonna do is, I think, upgrade these trucks and see if that works, and if not, we can always connect up this iron ore mine and this coal mine. Since they are so close, we could just easily have more trucks bring them over to the steel mill. So of course, first let's upgrade our vehicles. We'll start here with the iron line, and since we know we have much faster and more powerful vehicles, we should be able to pretty easily just go with one of these that works. Now, the biggest question we have is if we would rather have top speed or capacity, because with these Benz tarpaulin trucks, they have a top speed of 25 miles an hour, which I believe is the fastest truck we have right now. However, they can only carry 7 of each resource, whereas these Mack AC tarpaulin trucks can carry 2 more at 9 capacity, however travel a little bit slower at 19 miles an hour. And I think after looking at this for a while, I might go with the Benz tarpaulin truck. For a line this long, speed is really important, so we'll go with that. And then if we find the other line, this coal line, we can come in here and replace those as well, and we should see considerable increase in our throughput since we've nearly doubled the top speed. Now, we do have some of these older trucks still running on here for the machines line. And you can see it's already starting to hold up some of the vehicles behind it. So our options are either to turn this road into a 4-lane road where the faster trucks could pass, or upgrade these as well so that they're all traveling at about the same speed. And I think for now, we'll just replace these and upgrade them to the same truck. I actually think let's go with these, the side stake ones, because those can carry 1 more capacity and still carry steel, so it should be able to run even better. I just didn't want to upgrade this road just yet because we might be doing something with this coal mine, and I want to get maybe the terrain and layout set up first before we upgrade this road or reroute it if we need to. So we'll leave that as such, and hopefully we'll begin to see this station start to clear out. Hopefully the top speed doesn't start to cause a bunch of backlog here with our trucks. If we do run into that issue, we could either get rid of some trucks or maybe add some platforms and split each line into 2 separate lines, because looking here, we are maxing out the industry, but there's still a whole nother level it can produce. And we can see the transport percentage is still all the way down at 36%. Now, we do still have some slower, older trucks running on some of these same roads, as we'll see here with this one. And this is the one that brings planks over to this machines factory. And the route that it takes right now is very long and very out of the way. It's very unoptimized, even though it is making a profit, it looks like. But essentially, we're taking planks from this sawmill and bringing them all the way over to the machines factory here, and they're bringing it on this road, I believe, coming all the way down and cutting across here, where then it takes this road back over to the machines factory. And there's clearly a much easier way to do this by just making a straight road to the machines factory. And we already almost have that connection made here where this farm is and here where the forest is. So I think we can greatly improve the efficiency of that plank line by just drawing a road along the coast here and having it connect up to this farm, as that would greatly cut down the travel distance and also keep the slower trucks out of the way of the faster trucks that we currently have running here. So making this road, we do come to a very interesting choice that we could make, and that's either to follow the coast as closely as possible, or we could come up where this slowly ramps up and follow this cliff edge, sort of on this intermediate cliff on the side of this mountain, and then come back down and connect up to this road. And I'm sort of leaning on coming up and following the cliffside, as I think that'd create a really interesting road to drive on. I'm not too sure if much private passenger transportation would take that, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have a feature like that somewhere on this map. So I think we'll go with that. We will obviously have to flatten it out and clean up a lot of the cliff edge, but I think once it's done, it'll look pretty cool. So let's just start out with this and get ourselves up to where we need to be. So we'll slowly ramp up, and I think we'll keep this section straight. And then right about here, we'll begin to curve over and follow the cliff edge. So let's get the road in first, and then we'll come through and flatten it out and make it look nicer. So we'll come through here, get this road placed about there. I think we want to try to keep it as close as possible to the existing terrain, but I think we will make some choices of our own in some areas just to keep it from being too up and down in some areas. So we'll bring it around like this, and then we get a very steep section right along here. We can sort of lower it just a little bit, so we'll roll with that. And then we'll bring it around this way, and we'll continue that flow, loop it back around, continue to follow here, and then we finally get to the point where we're starting to descend and we could begin thinking about connecting back up to the existing road. Alright, so this is how we'll do this connection. We have a nice smooth ramp down the hill, and we can see here what the road looks like at the moment. Obviously we will come back through here and fix the terrain, but first I want to make sure that our trucks did reroute through here. So grabbing this, it does look like the preferred path does follow this road. So we aren't going to replace these trucks, we just want to make sure that it rerouted to this road. But now what we can do is come through here and do some very soft smoothing along here. I don't want to destroy the terrain that's here, but I do want it to look more natural and like this road could reasonably have been here. Alright, so here is our finished road. The terrain's pretty much all done up, and we even added a guardrail along the edge that's closest to the cliff, but you can see here the cars are handling it just fine. It does slow down in a few sections where the slope gets really steep, such as right here, but once we progress and get more powerful vehicles, they should be able to get through here really without many issues at all. So I think that's all we're going to do for this road. So we'll let this operate pretty much as normal. And if we take a look over here, it shouldn't really be holding up any vehicles that are faster than it, as it's just the machine trucks that bring it over to the port. So we'll leave that as is, and we can come back and take a look at our steel mill. So it seems like we might have increased our production, but we can definitely see we have a lot of trucks waiting to get in here. So I think what we're gonna have to do is redo this area. And a very short-term solution is we can just put iron or coal on its own platform, and that would probably solve this. But considering how much resources it takes to make steel and how important this steel mill will probably be in the future, I think it's best if we just redesign this area, have a more efficient truck station and truck station layout, and then go from there. So obviously, redoing this area, we are going to have to pause since we have a lot of lines that use this truck station. So don't want to cause any chaos when we delete that. And we will keep some of this since we spent so much time and effort on this area. So we'll only really delete stuff in this area, which is where our new truck station will most likely sit. So here's pretty much what our new station layout's going to be. We have a one-way entrance in on this side and a one-way exit out on this side. So hopefully we won't see so many trucks coming in and out on a single intersection. And we unfortunately don't have the space to increase our capacity more than before, but we'll see how this runs for now. I don't really see any issues, at least for the next while, so we'll leave this as it is. Definitely in the future we will probably relocate this somewhere where there's more space for larger storage buildings and maybe even a larger truck station as our trucks continue to get larger. But hopefully we should be able to set these on their own platforms, and then if we let this play, it should function as it was before. So now everything's flowing in and out of here pretty much as it was before. Hopefully this clears up and it was just a backlog of trucks before. I'm not too sure why they keep stopping at this intersection when there's no vehicles coming, but maybe that's something we'll have to fix later. But this should solve our issues for now, and we can get back and finish up some more of the details that we had around this area. Alright, and then I think this is what we're going to leave this area off with. We added this warehouse building to cover the storage buildings that we had. I think it kind of fits. Hopefully, as long as this corner of the industry doesn't change, we shouldn't see many issues with it colliding with the industry itself. And I think really if we ever expand this, it'll be over this area a little bit more, but that probably won't be until this steel mill levels up quite a good bit, since the industry itself does have a lot of empty space on this side as well. But things seem to be flowing through here pretty smoothly. I don't think really there's any issues at all. So I think we'll leave this as it is, and coming here, it looks like we are now keeping up with the demand as we sort of have things always stored. So the steel mill's always running. I still think maybe we could do something with these coal and iron mines, but I don't think we really need it just yet. But hopefully what we begin to see is steel getting stacked up at each platform, and our vehicles leaving full every time. However, I do think, actually, I'll take back what I said earlier, and we will connect up some of these industries to the steel mill, but I don't think we'll be detailing them in this episode for the sake of time. So first, I think I definitely want to keep this coal mine here. I think maybe there's a cool opportunity for this road to sort of cut into a larger valley if we build up this side and have it form into maybe more of a mountain. So if we raise up all this and then this road sort of runs through this natural opening between those two hills, maybe we bring some of this language over so that it morphs into that. Not too sure yet, but we'll figure it out in a later episode. And then, as much as I like how close this iron ore mine is to the steel mill, I just don't think it makes sense sort of sitting in the middle of this field. So we're not going to do this often, but I think just for the sake of what I think might be cool to detail, we're going to delete this industry since we have our sandbox tools enabled, and we will place down a new one right in the bottom of this crater that sort of exists here. So now that we've flattened out the bottom of the crater, we can place this down. I think let's rotate it so that the road's on that side. We'll place that down right there. And then we'll just do a little bit more terrain work to help this fit in a little bit more in this area. Alright, so I think we'll stick with this. I think we'll get some pretty cool sort of designs out of it existing down here. So let's get our truck stations connected up really quick. Again, this isn't really what we're going to leave it at. We'll come back later and detail it. We'll move these stations into probably a more better position. This is mainly just to get our steel mill running at a better level than what it's currently running at. So let's get a road running right along the iron mine, right about here, and then we can have it begin to work its way out of the crater, as we'll probably need it to wind around a good bit so it can get enough height to reach the main road again. So then we'll have this road connect up right about here, and that's not terribly far away, so I think we'll go with that. We might even be able to, well, that's way too much of a incline, but maybe we could potentially work our way up this hill and connect to this road, or maybe down here somewhere, so it's just a little closer, but we'll leave that as is, and we'll just plop down our truck station right next to it right here for now. And then let's quickly set up these lines. I think we'll get 10 running on the coal line. So from here to here. And then for the iron line that's a little bit farther away, we'll get 16. That will then run from our iron mine to the steel mill. So then all we have to do is set these to their own terminal, which I think we'll put both of those on terminal 5 for now. And we should be good to go once they sort of filter out of here. So with that, that's all we're going to do in this video. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.